Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I am going to show you how you can implement some security and privacy feature in your React Native app. So here, as you can see, this is our app home screen, and if I make this app like this in the task manager or app drawer like this, then you can see that our main app screen is being covered with this overlay screen. Whatever we have on the screen, that is not visible now, so that is kind of a privacy feature built into it. And when we are back at the app, then that overlay screen is automatically gone. You can see it clearly, right? So that is one privacy feature I'm going to show you today. And then if I make this app go and wait for a few seconds, I have provided few seconds check here, and if I open it again, then we are presented with a lock screen. If you close the app or minimize the app, then again open the app, then it will ask for the authentication. You can provide the passcode. So here I have provided this passcode, and after providing it, we are presented with main app screen. This is the security feature which I have implemented. So now you can see that if I'm back quickly, then we are not presented with the lock screen. But if we spend few seconds, which I have provided, after passing that time, we will be presented with the lock screen. And here we can provide the passcode, and also we can provide the Face ID. So here let's do Face ID authentication. So here, after matching the Face ID, we are presented with the main app screen. So these are the security and privacy feature which I'm going to show you today in this tutorial. So if you are interested in these kinds of tutorial, then hit the like button, subscribe to my channel for more tutorials like this, and don't forget to hit the notification bell icon so that you get notified whenever I post a new tutorial on this channel. So without wasting any more time, let's get started. Okay, so here I have created a new Expo project with Create Expo app, and here we can see this is the default app which we get. Now I don't want all of these things, I want to clear it. That's why I will use npm reset project. Okay, it will be npm run reset project. I don't want to move those files, I want to delete those. So now it's done, and now if I run, then we get a clean boilerplate code. We have layout and the index, and with this I want to install few packages to this project. For that, let me go to the documentation of the packages and let's grab the command. So first I want to install Expo local authentication, and this is the command to install it. So I have copied it and let's paste it here. And this will be helpful for the Face ID authentication or biometric authentication. So if you want to implement Touch ID or Face ID authentication, that you can do by this package. And with that, we need a state management tool, and I'm going to use justand. So this is the command to install it. So let me copy paste it here. And I have a dedicated tutorial for justand and the mmkv as well. So here I'm going to use mmkv, which is a very good alternative to async storage. So I have a tutorial for both of these, justand and mmkv. You can definitely check those tutorials. I will provide the link of it in the description below, and also you can check it out from the eye icon of this video. So these packages have been installed properly, and now with the mmkv we need to create the pre-build. So that's why let me copy this npx expo pre-build and let me paste it over here. So while the pre-build is getting created, that time let me create the project structure. And here with pre-build you can see that iOS and Android folder have been created. So for the project structure, here I'm going to create a directory called model, and within the model I will create overlay.tsx and lock.tsx, both of these files. So here let me first create this overlay, and after that let me copy it and paste it here for the lock as well. And in the layout we need to provide those screens. So here within the stack I can provide stack.screen index, and then I need to provide others as well. which would be stack.screen, and for the name of it I need to provide model lock, and then similarly I need to provide the overlay, and both of these options I will provide header shown as false. And for the index I will not provide anything like this. Let me delete it. Now save it. After that, for the index, let me change this text as home screen text, and for the style of it I will provide font size 40. And now I need to create another file which would be for the context. So let me create a directory called context, and here I need to create user inactivity.tsx. So by this context we are going to check for the user activity or inactivity in the app. So as I have shown you that if we are in this stage, so that is one app activity, and if it is completely minimized or closed, then that is another app activity. Okay, so that is what we will handle by this user inactivity context. So let me create the user inactivity provider, and for this provider here we will get the children, and for the type of it I will provide react.props with children, and here we will pass the children. So this is what we need to export. Now save it, and we need to wrap it here. So user inactivity provider, let's provide the stack screens within it. So this is the basic structure of our app, and now let's run the app. So npx expo run iOS. So for the iOS I can provide iOS, and for the Android we need to provide Android here. Okay, so now hit enter. So it is now building the app, and then it will create the app. Before pre-build it was running in Expogo. So as you can see, this is running in Expogo, but with the pre-build it will be an standalone app. Okay, the app have been installed. Now here we can see the prompt to open the app. Let's open it. So now you can see that it is being opened in a separate app. This is an independent app. It is not running in Expogo. So now I can close this Expogo. So let's close it, and now here we can work on our app. And first here we can see some warning, and I think this warning because of this. Now let's save it. Yeah, the warning have been gone. Yes. Now for the user inactivity, here we are going to first get the app state. So whenever we are changing the app position or state, that will be fetched by the app state. So let me create that. So here let's create the app state, and for it within the useRef hook we need to get the app state from React Native, then dot current state, and within useEffect hook we need to create an event listener for it. So here let's create subscription app state dot add event listener, and for the change of add event listener I'm going to create a function. I will name it as handle app state change, and also we need to remove this subscription. So that's how we can remove it. Now let's create this handle app state change function, and here for this handle app state function we can get next app state, and this type would be app state status, which will be from React Native. First I can get the output in the console for the app state. So let me provide app state, and here I can get app state dot current and next app state, and here I can assign app state dot current equal to next app state. Now save it. In the root layout we are wrapping the app with user inactivity provider, and here for this use effect we are listening to this app state change. So that's why we will get this output in the console. Now let me change the app state. So here you can see we have app state active inactive. So active this app state dot current and the next app state. So that means it gone from active to inactive state. So previously it was active, but when it is in this position, that time it is inactive. Now if I open the app from this position, then it will be inactive active. Okay, so from inactive to active it have went, right? So this is the app state, and now if I close the app, then you can see it went to active to inactive first, then inactive to background. So right now it is in the background. So these are the different app state which we can get. And if you want to know more about the app state, then you can see it here, and here you can see that in the iOS and Android it has different kind of behavior for these app states. You can go through from here for more detailed understanding of it, but here I have already make you understand that this is how it is. And when I have opened the app, so that time you can see that it is from background to active. Okay, so it was background previously, now it is active. So that's the app state, and based on this app state change, we are going to present this overlay screen and the lock screen. Okay, so that is what we are going to create now. So for the overlay, let me provide the style here, and for the style first I want to provide flex 1 and justify content, center and align center. After that I want to provide a background color, and the background color I want to provide is black. And here instead of text I want to provide an icon, and that icon would be material community icon. So let me import material community icon from expo vector icons, and here let me provide that. For the name of the icon I will provide rocket launch outline. For the size I will provide 100, and for the color I will use white color. So this is the overlay screen. Now I want to present it here when it will become inactive, active to inactive. Okay, so here I can do that. Let me provide a checking if. So this is the inactive state. So when we are going to inactive, so that's the inactive. So that means this next app state, right? So if the next app state is equal to inactive, then we are going to get the router. So let's get the router from expo router, and then we are going to push model overlay. So now let me check. So here you can see this is the overlay, and now I want it to be removed when the app is opened or active. So that means in the else case, let's check if router can go back, then I will provide router.back. So let me do this. So this is the overlay screen, and it back already, but previously it was already the overlay screen, then on top of it again pushed the overlay screen. So that's why it is showing it. Now let me refresh the app. Now if I do it, then you can see this is the overlay, and the overlay is gone, right? But it is providing the normal animation. I don't want that animation, I want to change the animation, and that's why here I can provide animation fade. And for the animation fade, I think I need to provide some duration. Yeah, let me provide the animation duration, and for the animation duration I will provide 500. Now save it. Now after that, here we can see that it is working perfectly well as I want, right? So the overlay thing have been done. So this is the privacy feature we have now implemented. Now after it, I want to implement this lock screen, and this would be if the app status is background and it is few seconds, then we will lock the app. So for that, here let me create a lock time constant, and this would be 3000 milliseconds, that means 3 seconds. Okay, so this is the lock time. If this time have been passed, then we will lock the app. And with that, I need to use mmkv storage as well. So let me create the storage, new mmkv. So let me import mmkv from React Native mmkv, and here for the ID of it I will provide user inactivity. So this is the storage we are going to use to store the time and check the time for this lock time. So here let me provide a comment. So overlay when inactive, and now after that we are going to show lock screen if in the background. So here first I'm going to check for the next app state. If it is in the background, then first we need to record the start timing, so when it have gone to background. So that is what we need to check. So for that, here let's create record start time function, and here we don't need to convert it to string. This is the record start time, and here we are storing the current time in the start time token in mmkb storage. Now here we need to call that function. Okay, so if it is in background, then we will start recording this time, and here then check for the app state if next app state is active. So now you can see that this is background, but if I open the app, then it came to active from background, right? So we are checking for the next app state active, and app state dot current equal to background. So this one. Okay, so from background to active we are checking for it. If it is matching the case, then we will get the start time from mmkb storage. So that is the storage which we have created, mmkb, and there we are setting this start time. So here I'm getting it. Okay, so this is the get number. Now let's check for it. If we have start time present and current time minus start time is greater than lock time, so that means 3 seconds have been passed, then we will push this lock screen. So now let's save it. Now with the save, let's reload the app once, and then this is the overlay screen which is working perfectly well. And now let's make it in background. Now if I open it, then I can see that it is presented with the lock screen. Let me provide some style here. So here we can see this is the lock screen, right? Now if I reload the app and make it in background and open it quickly, then we can see we are not presented with the lock screen. But if I pass few seconds, which is exactly more than 3 seconds, then it will be presented with the lock screen. Now here let's create the lock screen UI first. So here I'm going to paste some stylings which I'm going to use here. So let me paste those here. You can get note of these things by pausing this video. Okay, and now instead of this view, I'm going to provide a safe area view, and within this safe area view I'm going to provide a text, and in this text I will provide welcome back John, the username, and here for the style of it I will provide greetings, and after that I will provide the circular placeholder for the passcode. So that would be 6 code. So here first I need to create use state of code for it, and here I will import use state from React, and here it will be array of number, and by default it will be empty array. And after that let me provide code length, and it would be array6 fill 0. So here based on the code length we will provide the layout. We need to import the view from React Native. So here within this code view we are mapping through code length, and then we are creating this view which is code empty view. So that is what we have got. Okay, now we need to create the numbers view. So here we will display the numbers. So here let's first create a view and let's name it as numbers view, and within it let's create a view, and for which let's provide style flex direction row, and justify content would be space between. And here I'm going to provide an array 1 2 3 and map through each of the number, and then let's provide touchable opacity here to create a button. For the on press of it, right now I will provide empty function, and then let's provide the text here, the numbers. So now here we can see this is the number, right? Now after that, let me copy it, and this time it would be 456, and then here it would be 789, and with it I want to create a function which is on number press. So here instead of it, I'm going to provide that on number press. So here let's create on number press, and here it would take the number prop, and we are checking if code length is less than 6, then we are going to set the code with the new number. So whatever present we have in the code, it will keep that and add the new number. So it is destructuring the existing code and then adding the number. So now here we can provide on number press number like this, and after that here we need to check for it. So here for this style, let's provide a background color. If this code.index matches, then we will provide this color, otherwise we will provide nothing. So that would be transparent. So here you can see that this is how it is. Okay, and now along with it, while we are pressing this key, that time we can provide a haptic feedback with this on number press, and for that haptic feedback, here we can use Expo Haptics. So this package we can use. So let me copy it and let's install it here. I forgot to install it previously, so it have been installed. After installing it, let's see how we can use it. That's how we need to import. So here I have imported everything as haptics from Expo Haptics package, and now I can use it here. So here I can provide haptics dot impact async, and then within the bracket I can provide haptics dot impact feedback style, and here I can provide light. There are many options available, but I think for this code the light will work perfectly. That is the haptics. On a physical device you can get a little feedback, a vibration motor will work. I think you got the idea of it. So now save it, and after that let's open the lock screen. So after few seconds we will be presented with the lock screen, right? So now we will be presented with this layout, and while we will press this key, that time on a physical device we will get haptic feedback. And now along with it we need to provide a backspace. So let's create that, and for that here I need to create another view, and this view would be the same as this. So justify content space between, and then within it I will create touchable opacity, and for the on press of it I will provide empty function as of now, and then here I want to provide Face ID button. So here let me provide face as of now. After that I will create another button with the text of 0, and here it would be on number press 0, and then I will create another view. I will provide a minimum width of 30 pixel, and then here I will check for the code. If the code length is greater than 0, then we will provide backspace. So it would be similar type of this one, but it would be not exactly like this. So let me get rid of this, and here I need to provide an icon, and that would be from Expo Vector Icons, and I will use Material Community Icons. So here let's provide that Material Community Icons, and for the name of it I will provide backspace outline, and for the color I will not use this color, I will use black color, and here instead of this face text I am going to use Material Community Icon, and name of it would be face recognition, and for the size of it I am going to use the same thing. And here I need to provide this view within this view. Okay, so now it's looking good. Now let me create the on back press function, and here the AI is providing suggestion, so I'm going to use this one. It seems correct, so now let me provide that functionality here. Okay, now here we can see this is how we can delete the numbers, and when the number is completely blank, that time we don't have the backspace, as here we are checking if the code length is greater than 0, then only it will display the backspace, right? So this is done. Now I'm going to provide the correct code, and if we don't provide correct code, then I want to provide a shaky animation over here. So let me implement that. So here within use effect hook, I will check for the change of code. So whenever code changes, that time we will run this use effect hook. So here let's check if code.length equal to 6, then we will check for the correct code. So let's provide this code.join equal to, this is the correct code, and I'm not going to use home because we don't have anything called home. And now we need to import router from expo router. So we are going to go to the index screen, and then with this I'm going to provide the set code as empty array, else we are going to provide a haptic feedback like this: haptic notification async, haptic notification feedback error. Okay, so it would be error feedback, and I'm going to set code as empty array as of now, and later I'm going to provide an animation here which would be shaky animation. Now let me test this if it is working perfectly or not. Now save it. Now with the save, let's provide the correct code, which is 1 2 3 4 5 6. Now with the 6, here we can see that we are presented with the home screen, right? Now if I check the overlay, it is working perfectly fine, and now after 4 seconds we are going to present it with the lock screen again, and that is perfectly correct. Now I want to provide this animation, like when it is wrong, that time it would be an error. So for that we need to use the React Native reanimated, which is already present by default with Expo. Now I'm going to use that, and for that I need to create some shared value. So let's create the const offset, and here it would be use shared value, and this needs to be imported from React Native reanimated. Now let me import it. So this is the use shared value, and with that I want to create a style, and it would be use animated style, and for this style I would return transform translate x, because I want to provide horizontal shaky movement. So that is the animation, so that would be translate x. If I want to provide the vertical, then it would be translate y. Now I want to create this offset constant, and then create another constant for the time duration, which would be 80. Now here in the else case, let's provide offset dot value equal to with sequence. I'm going to use with sequence because there will be sequence of animations, so that's why I have provided it. And now within it I would provide with timing, and this with sequence with timing, these are coming from the React Native reanimated. Now with this with timing I need to provide offset, and the duration I would provide time by 2. So this is the offset and this is the time, and then I would provide with repeat with timing offset duration time by 2, and here I'm going to provide 4, and then after it I would provide another with timing, and this time it would be 0 and duration is the same time by 2. Now we need to make it animated view. So here this is the view which is wrapping this. So this would be animated, and this animated is imported from React Native reanimated dot view. So this is the animated view, and here I'm going to provide the animated style which we have created, and that is the style which is this one. and this is the offset value. By the offset value we are transforming this translate y, and here we are setting the offset value when it is error. Now with the save, let's check. Okay, so here you can see that shaky animation, and with the shaky animation here we are going to get this error haptic feedback as well. So with this we are providing a proper user experience to the user. These things have been completed. Now we need to do this Face ID authentication. So for that, here after this backspace press function, here let's create on biometric press function, and here it would be an async function, and then we can get result from this local authentication authenticate async, and this local authentication needs to be imported from expo local authentication. So here it is, and by this we can get the response, and we are interested in the success response. I can get the success like this, and let's check. If it is success, then we will provide the index screen, else we are going to provide an error feedback in the haptics. So now let's call this on biometric press for this face recognition button. Now save it. Let's click here, and with the click here we can see, do you want to allow this app to use Face ID? Yes, let's allow it. And now in the emulator we can use command option M or N to provide the Face ID. I have provided command shift N, which is not matched, so here it is cancelled. Now if I provide the matched Face ID, which is command shift M on the keyboard for the simulator, then let's see, we are presented with the main screen, but immediately we have gone back to our lock screen, right? So let's check matched lock screen, and then again it automatically went back to lock screen. And why is that? We are matching the Face ID and Face ID works, right? But there is some issue. Because of it, it is going back to previous screen, which is the lock screen. Let me refresh this app, and with the refresh, here you need to pay the attention in the terminal when we are changing the app state. That time we are providing the log. So here from active to inactive, and then from inactive to background, the app state right now. And when in the background for more than 3 seconds, it will display the lock screen, right? All these things we have already seen, and that is the exact user flow which we have provided, right? So here it is from background to active, but you need to notice here, when I am starting the Face ID, that time it will change. Okay, let me click here. So here you can see this Face ID, and when the Face ID, it is becoming from active to inactive, and if I press it, then it is inactive to active. So that is the main reason when the Face ID authentication is happening, that this particular thing is appearing, that time this app state is getting changed from active to inactive. And when it is inactive, that time we have already provided the checking here that it would display the modal overlay, and that is what it is showing, this black screen, and here in the middle we have the icon that is not visible here because of this Face ID section. So that is what happening. And when it is from inactive to active, that time it goes to in else case, and it is going to the back router. Okay, so we need to prevent this behavior, and this behavior is happening for this app state is getting changed when this Face ID is being checked. That time the app state is getting changed. So that's what I need to prevent, and that is the reason we need global state management system, and that is why I have installed JuStand. So initially I have already installed JuStand, so that's what I'm going to use right now. So all the functionality is done. The Face ID is already working, but it is not working as it should because of this app state change. It is going back. So we need to manage the state when we will start Face ID authentication. that time we need to provide a flag. By that flag we need to check here to bypass this thing. So let me create that, and for that here I am going to create a directory called store, and here I am going to create authstore.ts, and here let's import create from zoostand, and then let's create the type of it. So interface authstore, and here I'm going to create this is authenticating as boolean, and let's set is authenticating like this in a function. So let's export const use authstore create authstore the type, and then we are going to set it by the default values. Is authenticating by default would be false, and set is authenticating would be set with the value passed to it. Now after the save, here in the lock let's import use authstore, and from the use authstore we are going to get the set is authenticating, and in the biometric first I'm going to set is authenticating as true, and after that within the try block I will provide all these functionalities, and then finally I'm going to revert it back to false. And here it is taking little bit time to change the app state, so that's why I would provide a set timeout function, and within it I'm going to provide it the set authentication false, and for the set timeout I'm going to provide some delay which is let's say 1000 millisecond, which means 1 second, but to see it in action let me provide a much more delay which is 4 second. Okay, and now in user inactivity we need to check it. So in the user inactivity we can get is authenticating from use authstore state is authenticating like this. Okay, but here getting this value like this is little bit tricky, it will not work properly. Let me show you here in the console. Let's provide authenticating in app state is authenticating. So now let's see if I'm setting it, then we can see first it is false, then here also we are seeing it false, right? And if I check it in use effect hook, and here I am going to check for the is authenticating, and here let's provide a console log is authenticating. Now let's see. So is authenticating is false, this one, this console log, and this is authenticating from app state, so this is false. Now let's click here. So here you can see that this is true, but authenticating in app state this is false, right? Is authenticating value is actually getting changed, but within the app state we are getting the false value. And similarly here if we provide it, then we can see here it is false, and then finally is authenticating value is changed, which is this one, and in the lock we are setting it finally after 4 seconds to false, and that is what we can see here. After some delay we can see this log, right? So within the app state the value is not getting changed, or we are not getting the updated value. So this is one way we can get the value in zoostand, but this one is not working, so we need to figure out another way to get the value which will be updated in this handle app state change function. And luckily zoostand have another option to get the state value, and that is authenticating use authstore dot get state. From the get state function also we can get the value. So here we have this option, and another option is this get state function, and with this function we will get the updated value properly. So let me change the name of it little bit. Is authenticating app state is authenticating app state, so that we get proper understanding and we can see this in the action as well. Now after this we need to check. Let's save it. So after saving, here we can see is authenticating is false, which is correct, and it is coming from this one, and we need to check for this as well right now. Okay, so let's click here. So now here we can see, is authenticating true? Authenticating in app state is also true, right? So let's provide it, and then here we can see that it is true, and then after few moment this is authenticating became false. So that's how we can get this is authenticating value properly in the handle app state change function, right? So now we can get rid of it. Let me comment it out, and here let me change it to is authenticating, and now here I can check for it. So here let's provide the checking. If is authenticating is not true, then only we will run this code. Otherwise, if is authenticating is true, then we will not run this one. When it is false, then only it will run. When it is true, when we are clicking on this button, that time only it is true, right? Otherwise it would work as it is for the overlay. So now let's see, the overlay is working perfectly well, right? So overlay is perfect. This code is also working well. Now let's put it in the background state, and after few seconds let's open it again. So here we are back at the lock screen. Now let's try the Face ID. So now you can see that we are at the home screen, but this time we are not going back to the lock screen, right? And this time also you have noticed that when we have the Face ID authentication started, that time we didn't have the black screen, which is our overlay screen, right? Now let me do it once again. So within the background, if it is more than 3 seconds, then we are presented with it, and if I am clicking here, that time you can see that we are not in the black screen, which is the overlay screen, right? So now if I provide matched Face ID, then we are presented with this home screen. I think you have got the clear understanding of this app state and how we can get the is authenticating value properly here within the handle app state change, and by which we can properly check and display the screens. I think it is not that difficult. If you do it by yourself, then you will understand it pretty easily. So this is the tutorial, guys. I hope you have learned something new from this tutorial. If you do so, then hit the like button, subscribe to my channel for more tutorials like this. Let me know by commenting down below, and don't forget to share this tutorial with your friends and colleagues, and I will see you guys in my next tutorial. In the meantime, have a great day. Goodbye.